What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Former Mama's Boy. I was about to head to a dinner with my boys. And I just wanted to get on here and speak to y'all. First of all, get community, like I said in the last video. Have some boys that you can hang out with. Second of all, hope you got some movement, some water, and some joy in today, because all three of those will do good. And thirdly, man, the thing I want to talk about, just hop on here real quick, man, is today, the devil was really testing my worth for myself. He was making me feel unworthy. And it's crazy how it snuck up on me, because the whole day was good. The whole day was great. But later on in the day, I'm just sitting there, maybe towards the end of the day, you know, after lunch, you're kind of coming down, you're getting tired, you got that food in you for the itis. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, dang, man, like, I just don't feel worthy. Like, at all. Like, I don't feel worthy as a man, I don't feel worthy as a disciple to Christ. I just don't feel worthy. And I could feel myself tearing up a little bit. So, man, I drove home, was talking to God about it, got home, talked to God about it a little bit more, and eventually I just had to remind myself more importantly, whose I am. Had to remind myself that I have value and I have worth. And I was able to get out of the hump of feeling bad about myself, man. So I just got on here, man, because I wanted to give encouragement. Encouragement that you are worthy. You're worthy because you are made in the image of God. You're worthy because you're a person who has personhood. You're worthy because you exist. Don't let anybody tell you different, and don't let the devil tell you differently, man. He'll attack you with shame. He'll attack you with anger. He'll bring up, for me specifically, he was just bringing up little things that happened in my past. He was bringing up all the rejection from women that I've had in the past, just to, hey, she not trying to holler at you, bro. You ain't worthy. And I'm a lover boy, so that really can get to me sometimes. But I just had to sit down and remind myself, and specifically I want to give y'all some scriptures. It's going to be real quick before I go, and you can follow me along on my night, man. Just some of these scriptures that I want y'all to think on and meditate on, and they'll be in the description below. This is Genesis 12:6. It says, "You are valuable because of who you are. You are made in the image of God, according to his likeness." God made you in his image. And if anybody isn't worthy, if somebody's worthy, it's going to be God. So if you're made in his image, you're worthy. Second one I really like is this one. It says, "For you created my utmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." God created you with his own hands. He knitted you together in your mom's womb. If God's worthy, ain't the things he make worthy? It sounds like common sense, but sometimes the world, our own emotions, external factors can make us feel like shit. And that was me today. So I had to just pick myself up and like I said, realize who I was, but more importantly, realize who I belong to, man. So I want you to find your worth in God. If you don't believe in God or a God, I want you to find your worth in your purpose. If you don't have a purpose yet, I want you to know that you just have worth because you are a human being. Don't let this world define your worth. Don't let the amount of money define your worth. Don't let how many girls or guys you get define your worth. Don't let your looks define your worth. You are worthy because you are human, because you are created in the image of God, because you have life in you. That makes you worthy. Worthiness of happiness, worthiness of love, worthy of things that you haven't even imagined for yourself. So yeah, man, I gotta go. I'm already going to be late. I don't like being late. Former mama's boys, punctuality is a blessing, so try to be punctual. But I had to get this out of my brain and start the next episode, you know? Like I said in the last episode, I'm just gonna start doing this. Come along and ride. All right, see y'all soon. Over there coughing pretty hard, man. What's going on, my man? Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and Get this drink for it. Yeah, man, we just chilling out here.
Enjoying the day.
Enjoying the day. Got my friend Jay with me. You know, sometimes you just gotta enjoy the weather that God is bringing.
Most done.
But I wanted to get some more men on this channel, not just me. This channel is really, or this show really is to help men from all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to interview people, talk to them, have a slice in their life. Man, I look good. I'm sorry. I'm like, damn, like, this outfit here for me. You know what I'm saying? Man, so introduce yourself, bro. What do you do?
My name is Jay.
Wow.
I make art. I work a lot. I'm a server as well. And I'm in my youth. I'm just being me.
Yeah.
Being a kid and the making of a man at the same time.
How old are you?
25.
25? He said 25.
Yes, sir.
See, I'm 30, man. So 5 years ahead of you.
2 milestones, though.
2 milestones ago, but I feel like even though I'm ahead of you, bro, we probably dealing and thinking about a lot of the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially how to be a man in this society where I feel like being masculine is seen as more and more as a detriment.
Yeah.
Being masculine is seen something as toxic. And there definitely is, you know, toxic masculinity.
There's levels to it for sure.
There's toxic everything, masculinity, femininity.
Yeah. Human beings.
Human beings are toxic. You know what I'm saying? The innate sense of masculinity isn't toxic. Like, that's a very neutral thing. But when you add the human heart into it, it can become toxic, man. So I guess, do you feel like you are where you should be as a 25-year-old?
At 25, it's, of course you have your own perspective and of course you're your own critic. I don't feel like I'm entirely yet, but I feel like I made a lot of progress. And I have to remind myself that often, looking at where I've been, what I wanted to do, and where I am now, I definitely consider it a huge bit of progress from when I was like 15, 16, 17, even 20. So, and I appreciate that. And I have to remind myself that often because I set high expectations for myself and I have ideas and things that I want to get out. But you have to know that things take time and not everything happens overnight. So I have to be patient with myself and like nurture the inner child. So,
yeah. I think I was explaining this in a previous video, like, especially on social media, it makes you think that everything needs to happen like now.
And everyone is so quick to share what they're doing. So it makes you think, why am I not doing this?
Yeah,
like, I have to get a hurry on this and all that. And that's just how I am naturally. So I try to stay away from what I guess I'll say siphon of social media because it can suck you in and it kind of gets you in that mentality of, oh, I want more, or like I gotta have the hottest photos, or I gotta be having the hottest business or doing the hottest thing, or maybe following a trend, or you just want to stand out so bad that you want people to notice you, but you don't need all that. You just gotta go at your own pace. This is a race, but it's not a race at the same time.
Yeah.
It's always just you versus yourself. No matter what people make it seem like, it's always just you versus yourself.
I don't know if I'm been having I can't really call it a quarter life crisis because I'm not 25, but like some type of, I'm reevaluating what I want. Like,
and that's okay.
And the reason I had to reevaluate what I want, because of social media, because it was like, I'm preparing my business. I'm preparing
it shows us so many different things.
Like, am I not good enough? And I had to sit down and realize, like, man, Robert, you don't even really want all this stuff. Like, to me, it's not about money. I want money, working to be wealthy, but money shouldn't define who I am and how worthy I am. You know what I'm saying? And recently I've just been looking at social media like, bro, I don't want to have to post every day. Yeah. I don't want to have to play this game in order to feel satisfied or in order to be happy. I think especially us being creatives and trying to make it with art, at some level we do have to be on social media. That's what sucks.
For the business
aspect of it. Like, because if it's up to me, bro, I'll delete all of it. I get so close to be like, fuck all this.
And it's fun sometimes. You can get enthralled and you can be involved and be like, hey, my friends are doing this, or like, we did this weekend, or like, oh, I like what you're doing over there. But you have to kind of know there's a fine line between like, am I doing too much? Am I too involved? Is my attention too drawn into this? Or am I simply here just utilizing the tool that's been given to me?
Yeah.
And you saying at the start of this, it made me think of a song called Late Night in Kuwait with Jaden Smith and Childish Gambino.
Okay.
He was saying, do you like what you like, or do you just like the way they gave it to you? And things like that make me reevaluate in the same sense like you were saying, just what it is I have going on and how bad do I really want this? And in contrast to other people, am I just doing this for the attention? Am I trying to measure up to somebody? Am I doing this to appease me?
Yeah.
All those different things. Yeah.
Because it plays at you, man. And it's even like on a meta level, like it's the fast edits, right? They hit these dopamine receptors in your brain.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they're happening every 4 seconds, it's like, okay, now my tolerance for dopamine is going down.
Yeah.
So now I need it more and more, faster and faster.
And you gotta always have that fix.
You always gotta have the fix, man. I can't tell you how many times I've turned off social media and like, oh, I'll get on to check something, and then I'm on it for 15 minutes.
And you just scroll.
You just scrolling because you keep dopamine. So, man,
They really have it down to a science, the way they set it up for your brain.
That is how they control us. Whether you want to be conspiratorial or not, like social media. People say social media is a reality, but at some point it is.
Yeah.
Like if everybody in this world is dealing in it, right? Eventually it starts to affect the people who are, what is it called? Jordan Peterson or postmodernism, right? Like the simulation of reality becomes reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what.
And so many of us are participating in it, and it's being more incorporated, and it's more prominent how incorporated it is into our daily lives.
Yeah.
What it is we do.
So I think that it really affects men. It makes us, you got the majority or what your social feed shows you saying you should be this type of way as a man. And then you're not that type of way as a man, you're gonna feel inadequate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there are these things, there are like parameters that define what I think a healthy man should be, that you have to follow. But just because somebody gets online and says a man should be this way does not mean a man should be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think? What do you think are some of the principles a man should have? Just their own opinion, bro.
The only thing I can say on that, a lot of stuff that people say, you have to, I guess for the lack of terms, take it with a grain of salt, because somebody could really be spitting something. It can be their truth. It can be their testimony, what have you. But what you deem as advice is what you take away from that. And then the rest you can just leave, because somebody might be spitting something and someone else might be like, okay, yeah, that really works for me. And that might not work for you. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. And you can't take everything everyone says into consideration. And it might sound really sweet, and they might be the multi-millionaire, or I just started my business and it's doing so great, or I'm really invigorated and I started my business, but it went kaput. And then you have to, it's your own path. No one can walk it for you. There's no rule book or anything like that. But as far as my experience, I tried so hard to really fit in and like be a certain way and like kind of fit some type of archetype that I guess I imagined for myself. And then the older I've gotten, I'm like, I don't fit into any of these archetypes. I just have to go my own way and build my own path. So, and then I value that about me. Like, my individualism is a part of what characterizes me, but you have to take what you have and what you have and run with it. And if you don't know you have it, you got to dig until you find it. And for some people that happens within a year or two, and some people, they go their whole life trying to figure out like, who am I? What am I trying to do with my life? Like, what's my purpose and all that?
Yeah.
You might not get those answers, but if you're a seeker, the knowledge will come, whether it's in tidbits or whether you figure it out. If you crack the code, then great. That's by all means good for you. But there's definitely multiple ways to go about it. I don't like the saying, it's more than one way to skin a cat. That's basically the same thing. So yeah, just figuring out who you are and figuring out your purpose. Sometimes what you think is your purpose is only another step in getting you what your actual purpose is supposed to be.
You got to be willing to change and adapt.
You have to be open-minded.
You have to be open-minded on what your purpose here on earth is. And that's a scary thought, man.
It is.
Like, for instance,
some people don't like embracing change. I love change, and that can be kind of rocky because it's like, well, you're never really stable. And that's like, I can look at it as like rolling with the punches, because then I feel like I'm ready for anything. And I love that about myself, because then there's never a dull moment for me, and I like to keep things fresh. But that's just me. That's just how I'm cut. So,
yeah. This is a scary thought for me, because sometimes I'm like, man, I'm putting all my energy and effort into building this. What if this isn't my purpose?
You might have all your eggs in one basket. You could split up your eggs and put them in another basket, and you don't have to take all your eggs and put every single egg in a whole different basket. Then you spread yourself too thin. There's a fine line, and it takes time to figure that out.
Yeah. I think it's about, in the Bible, Jesus talks about in Matthew, ask, seek, and knock. You know what I'm saying? It's the same premise of what you were saying about being a seeker of knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. So you ask God, for like, what's my purpose? You are intentionally and presently in seeking that purpose. So you're trying new things, you're exploring, you're being open-minded. And then when the door is presented to you for your purpose, you knock, it's open, and you go in. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's always just about being intentional.
Yeah, definitely that part. And that was just what I was about to say.
And I was just talking about this in the last video about like, you need your purpose, you need a vision, and you need a direction. And that's, let me say it like this. A purpose gives you your vision and your direction. You know what I'm saying? That's why you need a purpose and you need a vision. And the thing is, man, your purpose doesn't have to be to run a $1 billion company and change millions of people's lives. Your purpose can be, hey, I just want to have a family. 2 kids, I want to support my family, leave my family some things, take care of my parents. I think that's another kind of byproduct of social media is everybody wants to do big things. Yeah. Like, you're special. You need to go change the world. Yeah. And it's like,
you could be a star.
Yeah.
You could do it.
Some of us don't want to change the world. Some of us just want to work a job, come home, have our bills paid, and be able to have a nice family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, not everybody's going to be able to change the world. Like, you are special, you are a star, but at the same time, a lot of us ain't doing that. Like, I'm just being realistic. Like,
yeah, you have to be honest with yourself too. Like, there is such a thing as dreaming, but you don't want to like overshoot.
Overshoot, you got to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Just roll with the punches. Like, if you have that vision and you constantly working towards it, maybe one day you are the guy who's running that $1 billion company and changing people's lives. Or you might just be the guy who, hey, I'm an office manager and I'm changing lives locally, not on a global scale. Those local lives matter just as much as the global scale.
Or your neighbor's life.
Or your neighbor's life.
It can be something as small as your pet's life. You just giving an animal that you found a good life. And that's a very minuscule way of looking at it. Yeah. That might work for someone. But yeah, there's different forms and different facets of how to go about it. And you decide that for yourself. So that's close. But as far as purpose goes, I feel like sometimes people might focus a little bit on too much of what they feel like the purpose should be. And you kind of just have to go about living, like whatever comes to you naturally. Yeah. That's what I feel like.
Here's your purpose.
Yeah.
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 The road of least resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand.
The resistance is good too, though.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going against the grain, if you're finding those rough patches, you get to see what you're made of in those moments where you're needed.
Resistance brings growth. And everybody, man, woman, child, needs resistance to grow. But there is a point to working towards your talents, right? Like for me, it's easy for me to go out and make connections with people. So I've realized, hey, that's part of my purpose. I used to be an introvert.
I feel
not want to talk. I'd be in a room full of people in the corner just chilling. But I've learned,
and it's okay to observe as well.
It's okay to observe, but I learned personally, like, I need to go, in order to do what I want to do, and what my purpose is to connect people and bring people to God, I need to go out there and be able to speak.
You have to be,
you know what I'm saying? And I realized that's one of my talents. I've always been good at public speaking, always been good at storytelling and stuff like that. So
that's so cool.
Once you find your talent and your purpose, they align, and that's what I meant by like least resistance. It's gonna come to you naturally. I'm like, hey, not only can I do this, but I like doing this. So when my discipline or when the motivation's not there, the discipline is easy
to be there
to continue to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes even having discipline is hard, especially when you don't like doing it.
Yes.
But if you like doing something that is incorporated in your discipline, it's easier to get it done when you don't have discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but
Christmas first is stay out first.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I have. Yes. Yeah, no problem. What? It's voting season.
It's that time.
You know, don't hate your brother. Everybody has their valid reality of who they voted for.
Mm-hmm. And we should all be able to have our own opinion.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they still gonna be millionaires, and we gonna still have to grind for it. So, I've seen too many. I had a friend come to me, not this election, last election, and a mutual friend had voted for Trump, and he was like, "Man, Robert, I'm really struggling to remain friends with him." And I had to explain to him, I was like, "Look, man, like, you know our friend.
Yeah.
You know his characteristics. Is he a racist? No. Is he a bigot? No. Is he a hateful person?
It
No.
doesn't make him a bad person. Yeah.
So don't believe what the media's telling you, that because you voted for Trump that you're like this, or because you voted for Biden you're like this. Like, take people at face value, and take people how they treated you. And you know his characteristics, you know his personality. You believe that more than you believe somebody who don't know you on the television tell you because you voted for somebody that you're this way or that way. That's how they divide us, bro.
And that's exactly what I look at it as. Personally, I said I voted. I did not. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. No, but
Trying to get it away. Yeah.
I was just like, she's really trying to talk to us about something, and I understood that. But it definitely, I look at it as a ploy to divide the people, because divide and conquer, that's a whole separate topic for a whole different time, which we could get into, but that's a very lengthy topic. But I feel like it's a ploy for divide and conquer, but people should be able to believe and have a system of beliefs for what they believe in and what they want to go after. And if that's what they feel like is set up for them, then that's just for them. It doesn't matter whether you vote for Trump, Biden, or the third guy.
Yeah.
You should be able to have your opinion. And if someone doesn't agree with it, that's okay. But as long as we're sharing ideas and trying to help each other out, I feel like that should be the main purpose in that. But it's always kind of interesting around election year to see like who's where and what opinions people have and stuff. It's really cool to talk about that with people, but you have to kind of be careful about who you talk to that about. But
Yeah, you can't-
we're both very open-minded individuals though, so
Yeah.
no quarrels or anything over here. So
I don't care who you voted for.
no, real.
Like I said, that don't affect me loving you, bro. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, I got people who voted opposite to how I voted, and I just had dinner with them last
And we
night.
still gonna dap up.
We
at
still
the end
gonna
of the
dap
day.
up. So, like I said, because once you keep the people, what people need to understand is there's power in the people.
Yeah.
There's power in the people.
And I think people forget that.
we are the government, if you really want to be honest about it. And they need to keep us divided. Because if we all get on the same page and say, hey, nah, we don't want none of y'all in office, things can change. Not advocating for violence, not advocating for no marching on the Capitol. I'm just saying, realize as individuals how much power you have.
The only thing I can say on that, and I'm not an anarchist, but in a bug's life, the grasshoppers knew the ants were mighty if they stood together.
They stood together.
We are the ants. We're just
the ants.
living our lives, and we're kind of just mindlessly going about it, I'll say, from all the analysis and observing that I've done over these last couple years. And, you know, to each their own, go at your own pace. If you don't care, you don't care. I feel like a lot of my generation doesn't care, and a lot of the older generations just want us to care.
Yeah.
And then the newer generations, they either care or they don't even have any idea of what is being talked about.
Yeah.
So whichever way you fall, you kind of just have to go about it however you deem. That's at your discretion. But yeah, we have the power to make the change. And one individual can make change. I have to remind myself that too. Because sometimes you might not agree with even someone that you want to vote for. You might not agree with what they're talking about. But if you don't agree with what they're talking about, you can make something happen to see what you want to happen. Yeah. It might not happen overnight. It might not happen in 1 year, 2 years. But if you spend the energy and the time, you can have anything. That's a part of manifestation. That's alchemizing your thoughts and making them into reality. And utilizing the energies that you hold, like your masculine or your feminine or a combination of both. But it's a little bit of knowledge for you. And I'll drink to that.
Great to that, man. I guess my final question, and we'll hop off here. Man,
smooth little podcast we got going. It's my first time doing this.
My first time doing this too. Nah,
You seem like a pro, bro.
I guess recording this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I told you I'm a very good public speaker. I don't mind speaking. And then once you, side note, stop caring about what people think about you.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Stop caring about what people think about you. And that's something I'm learning. I'm telling you guys on this show's a journey. So when I tell y'all stuff, it's not because I'm on a high horse, it's because I'm going through it with you. Stop giving a fuck what people think. Like a year ago when they came out here and started talking to a camera, because all these people walking around. But I'm getting tired of not reaching my dreams and my purposes. And this is one of them. So
You got to make it happen.
fuck what people think about you. As long as you're not sitting here doing nothing crazy, hurting people and all that, you do you. And look, nobody saying nothing to us. Nobody really cares because people be in their own world. That's the thing, man. We think people be focused on us,
And they're not.
but they're not.
Everyone has their own lives, their own things going on.
Exactly.
We're all just here happening at the same time.
At the same time.
At the exact same time.
So, but I'll say this is my last question, man.
Shoot.
I'm trying to think. What do you think?
It can be in depth or it can be surface level.
I don't know if it's going to be in depth, but
Yeah.
just a quick question, just to kind of end this off, and we'll sign off. Man, what do you think the concept of a man is? And then two, what do you think is the best way, or what do you think is some of the best attributes a man should have?
Two good questions.
The concept of a man, I'll just say to start, I really love psychology. I love the way the brain works and how people think, and your psychology is what makes you, and it creates the path for who you are and how you act. So what makes a man is how you were raised, and parental psychology makes a big part of that.
Yeah.
So you get your idea of a man from the person who raised you to be a man. And that could be multiple different facets. If you were in a one-parent household, if your mom raised you like my mom did, granted, I still had my dad, but my parents separated when I was young. I didn't really know much about that, but I didn't really care either. I wasn't like, oh, I won't see you together. Like, now that I'm older, I really don't mind. Like, you have your differences, you do your own thing, and I'm okay with that. I still see them both, and I love them both equally. But my concept of what it means to be a man is based on what I viewed from my father and the little things that my mom taught me, or maybe my neighbor that I drew inspiration from, or just an older friend who you might call like big homie, or like you consider your older brother. It could be a teacher, it could be a coach. I've had a coach who inspired me just from one quote in my math class, and he was my track coach. But I believe what makes a man, you get to decide what kind of man you want to be. And granted, not everyone's going to be this perfect cookie cutter idea, like, oh my gosh, he's just the perfect dad. He can provide for his 3 kids, and he has such a lovely wife and their beautiful, huge home. It might not look like that.
Right.
You might be the guy who's working 3-4 jobs. You're paying for your kid to make it through college. You're busting your ass as hard as you can. And we have dudes who are really out here trying, and they're wondering when they can get a break. And that's okay. Like, whoever you are, shouts out to you, and I see you, bro. But for those of you who are doing really, really well, and you have a great father figure or had one in your life, or maybe you have no parents at all and you're just getting it out here in the rough like you can, you have to know, I feel like the making of a man is a little bit of stoicism, which is huge. You have to kind of know the traditional values of masculinity, as well as knowing who you are and what you want to be. And I think that's kind of what makes a man. And those 4 things people can probably argue upon. You can have your own opinion on, oh no, it's this, or you have to be like this, and that's just their viewpoint. But for that first part, I believe it's those 4 components. And then the second part was...
What's characteristics? I think you answered it, man.
Oh, okay.
Characteristics of a man.
Yeah, the characteristics. Yeah, I think stoicism is huge.
Yeah, stoicism is
very big.
Yeah.
The one thing I can say, I've been reading a book by Jordan Peterson called 12 Rules for Life.
I've read a little bit
and
about
it was
that,
very
yeah.
informative.
Yeah.
It was very deep too. I love
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson. People say whatever they want about him. I do not
No,
care.
he's
I
an
think the guy's
intellectual
great.
man, yeah.
Yeah, and then David Goggins as well. But
Mhm.
I cannot forget about the OG Kevin Samuels.
Mhm.
He, of course, for the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
I agree with you, but
yeah, like in the comedic aspects, but as
Yeah.
well as like the real stuff.
The
I
real
really
stuff.
value those three people.
That's good,
So
man.
yeah, they taught me a lot. And then just living, man, like that one Matthew McConaughey, I don't even know what movie that's from, but he's like, you just got to keep on living, man. You just learn more the more you keep doing. And I don't care if it's going outside every day and simply just looking at the birds, or if you go to your local grocery store and you just talk to the homeless person or the person working at the cash register. Like, the more you learn about people and you learn about yourself, you start to learn different things and you're making up who you are. If you can figure out the makings of you and the inner workings of you and the kind of person you want to be and how you interact with people and what you want to do for somebody else or how people treat you, which is a reflection of yourself, because everything is connected. Everything is connected. And without getting too deep on like the esoteric and like the different aspects of like energies and all that, those few things, the only thing I can say on the energies and all that, there's a book called Way of the Superior Man. If you hear about this, check that out. Please, 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 please. It is a really, really good book. It teaches you about masculinity, femininity, divine femininity, all of that. I love all those things. But I feel like me making myself into the man that I want to be and who I am today, I learned all those different things from all those different peoples and all those different avenues. But yeah, you just have to keep on living. You just have to keep on getting that experience and putting yourself around good people. So
I appreciate
those different
you, man.
things, it'll help you out. And there's no easy way to go about it. It's definitely not easy. There's no rule book for this.
Not at
There's
all.
sometimes you might be up late at night thinking like, why did I make this decision? Why didn't I do this? Like alternate realities. Like, what if I had actually went to school and did this? Or what if I pursued this dream? Or what if I talked to that girl on the train that one time? Like, you never know.
Yeah. There was a short story. I was going to LA Fitness, speaking of women, and started talking to this cute front desk girl. And I remember it started with a hi, then like one sentence, and then be like full conversations. And this was during COVID, so the gym would close early, and when it closed, she would be the one closing. So it would just be me and her towards the end talking. And I remember I was driving once. Like at a certain point, I wasn't able to. Like she just stopped showing up. I was like, man, I wonder like where'd she go? I remember I was driving. I was talking to God and said, God, if I see that girl again, I'm gonna ask her for on Instagram. I walked in and she was at the desk.
There you go, and it happens just by chance.
And it happened just by chance. But this is where I messed up, bro. I was talking to her, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna ask her for Instagram when I come out. You know, because there's people behind me. I'm not trying to da-da-da.
Yeah,
By the time I got done working out, she had left.
Oh,
I have never seen her again.
Oh, man.
And I was like, no.
And that's how it happens sometimes. You might miss the opportunity.
When you have it, you got to take it. You can't, it can be hard, but you can't hesitate. You know
And the
what
only
I'm
thing I
saying?
can say on opportunities, doors will open at different times. If
Yeah.
you miss one, anytime a door closes, another one will open.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. There's always, and man, I'm really believing what's meant for you is meant for you.
And what's not, you can't cry
Yeah,
about it. I
exactly.
say that all the
Yeah,
time,
like-
bro. What's meant for me will come. And
If
whatever
I'm-
isn't, you cannot cry about.
If I'm going to walk through a door, I'm going to walk through it. There's nothing that's going to stop me from walking through it.
And sometimes you can create opportunities as well.
Yeah.
On the flip side to that.
Yeah. Then God has been showing me, you know, opportunity-wise, not every opportunity is a good one,
Yeah.
and not every opportunity is for you.
And anything that you deem isn't good can be a learning opportunity.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You can always gain wisdom from pretty much anything. Wisdom and knowledge. If something doesn't work out in your favor, what have you learned from it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It says in Ecclesiastes, I believe it's 7:14, the Message version of the Bible. It says, when days are good, enjoy them. When days are bad, consider this. God has made every single one of them so that you can know what's right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? The other verses kind of expound on that and just talk about like, when days are good, that's awesome, enjoy them. But when days are bad, there's something to learn from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you have a good opportunity go your way, that's great. But when you have a bad opportunity or one that doesn't work out, there's something to learn from it. It's not a complete loss.
Yeah.
And that comes with a shift of mind state. And that's good listening to people like Jordan Peterson, Kevin Samuels. There's a channel I watch called Daily Stoic on YouTube.
That's cool.
So I really agree with you on these things. You know what I'm saying? It's about it's a mindset shift. The Way of the Superior Man is a good book.
It very much is.
There's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. That's also a good book.
I've heard about that.
For the lover boys, nice guys. I'm one of them. And I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. Hey, I can't be as nice as I want to be. That doesn't mean I'm an asshole. It just means like, hey, this world, you're gonna have to pull up your dukes a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
You have to stand up for yourself.
You have to. That's exactly what I was about to say. You got to stand up for yourself. In ways that you. Sometimes it's like I'm just being nice. I don't even feel offended. It's like, well, people will take advantage of you even when you don't think they are.
Yeah.
What's another book? There's one called The Body Keeps the Score. I've been going in and out, and then 48 Rules of Power.
That's a very good one. Robert Greene
like
is a great
Robert
author.
Greene.
Great author.
You know, just read your books, guys. I'll put some in the description below. The ones we've talked about and some other ones, and I'll link those channels. R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels.
Yes.
Because despite, you know, what women thought he was a horrible dude, he actually helped men a lot. And he helped me grow a lot. He just doesn't care about how you feel. He's going to say how it is. That's the problem that people have with him.
He's pretty raw.
He's pretty raw. But especially as men, we can't be afforded that luxury of having things sugar-coated.
Yeah.
We have to take it bluntly. We have to take
and it's
reality.
a little different when you have this, too.
What is that? Oh.
Melanin. Yeah.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
definitely a different viewpoint.
Oh, yeah. Different experience, different viewpoint. But I hope you guys found some in this episode, man. It's 31 minutes long. That's crazy.
Perfect.
I didn't think it was going to be that long, but we got into some good discussion.
And I'm glad we did.
Yeah. So hope you guys can find something out of this. You'll have your links in the description, Instagram, Discord. Buy some merch. Smile Guy Loves You merch.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all enjoy y'all day. It's good to see you.
From Atlanta,